Whoa, that's a bit weird. Alright, let's check out DECAP Attack for the Sega Genesis. Definitely one of the most aptly named games ever. Be warned, however, you might lose your head with the onslaught of wordplay you're about to face. In DECAP Attack, you're controlling Chuck D. Head, a mummy with an extra face in his chest and a boomerang skull, and you can thank his creator, Frank N. Stein, for that. You'll have to stop Max DECAP and his underworld army from taking over the world or whatever, and go through the different zones of that weird skeleton island shown in the intro, like Elbow Island, Tibia Land, Abdomain Land. Yeah, you get the idea. The puns in this game might make you roll your eyes, but I think it adds a lot of charm and humor to this strange side-scroller. So you might be interested to know, DECAP Attack happens to have a long-lost twin brother in Japan, the game Magical Hat Flying Turbo Adventure. Since the license for that anime series it's based on couldn't be obtained, and it wouldn't be marketable to Western markets anyway, the game's graphics and levels were changed, but the gameplay is pretty much the same. DECAP Attack has a couple of older siblings too, with very similar gameplay mechanics. Psycho Fox for the Sega Master System, and Kid Cool for the NES, both of which coming from the same developer, Vikatokai. But in this family, DECAP Attack definitely stands out visually as the weirdo of the bunch. If you're playing this for the first time, Chuck feels a little bit clumsy with some clunky controls. He is a big mummy after all. But with practice, you'll have no trouble navigating the game's colorful and open levels. Its level design is similar to Sonic in a way that there's a lot of different routes you can take to reach the end, with a variety of potions and items you can pick up and use at will along the way. Your movement speed is also dependent on your momentum, but Chuck has a lot more jumping precision than Sonic, thanks to the ability to waggle his legs around and slowly float as he falls. A common ability all mummies have, I'm sure. And you can attack your enemies by jumping on them, extending your biting jaws out of your chest, or decapitating yourself and throwing your head. That's way cooler than throwing some cute little egg buddy, like in the Magical Hat version. So the gameplay is pretty decent, and later levels are definitely challenging, but don't expect anything special in that department. The most likable and unique aspect of DECAP Attack that sets it head and shoulders above its other versions is definitely the weird atmosphere and humor. The enemies are pretty bizarre, like this crazed totem pole, and the bosses look pretty ridiculous. The graphics are great, the music sounds awesome, very funky with a horror movie edge. And there's not much to complain about if you're looking for a fun and polished platformer with plenty of laughs. And it's pretty easy to find too. The original cartridge usually sells for pretty cheap, especially if you head on over to eBay. And it can also be found on the Sega Genesis collection for PS2 and PSP, and Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection for PS3 and Xbox 360. So it's definitely worth checking out if you get a chance, especially if, like me, you frequently find the urge to decapitate yourself and throw your head at minotaurs. A typical weekend in Tibia Land.